Hello everybody, so exciting to see you all here right now. I am really looking forward to sharing with you guys some really powerful strategies today. I know that, and I'm just going to pull up my slides here, so hopefully this is all working all right. I would love to hear from you in the chat. I can see you in the chat here. My name is Sam. Yes, I'm Australian, but I'm actually in Utah right now. We're over here joining you guys from Utah, and I'm going to be sharing all about social media today and show you how to use this amazing tool to grow your incredible business. So just before we do, I want to just really quickly check in on the chat. I'd love to hear where in the world you're joining us from today. I can see people from Canada, I could see Romania. I saw someone who I'm very jealous is in Santorini, Greece. So I can see you guys are literally all over the world, which is so exciting to see. And I'm going to do my best as well. I know I can be a little bit of a fast talker given my Australian colloquialism, so I'm going to try and slow it down for you guys a little bit today as well. Okay, so let's get stuck on in. I want to chat with you guys a little bit about what's going on with social media, but here's the thing. I'm not here to tell you that social media is the everything. I'm going to be really clear about this because I know that we can get really caught up in this, and Ryan mentioned this before, this feeling of I need to go completely online and lose the human element. So I want to introduce you to a little concept that I like to call humanology. This is a word I came up with, but I came up with it because when people hear me speak, they've got this assumption that I am going to be telling them to move their business completely online. And here's the key. At the other end of that mobile screen, at the other end of that computer, at that device, whatever it is that they're using to see you on social media as a human being. And you already know how to connect and communicate with human beings. So I'm not here to teach you and show you how to be more technical. I'm not here to show you how to use a whole lot of new tools. I don't want you to get more technical. I want you to be more authentic. But here's the key. It's about using these tools to enhance who you are. And so if there's anything I show you how to do today, I want it to be that it helps you show up in a more real and more authentic way on social media so that you can be more of you. Because does anyone know, can you tell me in the chat, does anyone know what people are actually buying? Tell me in the chat if you know what it is. Is it the amazing story? Is it your incredible products, which I love, by the way, but is it your products? Is it your company philosophy and culture? What is it? Thank you, Dennis. They are buying you. And until they connect with you genuinely and they like, know, and trust you, they're not gonna be interested in the products that you have, in the business opportunity that you have, because they first need to connect with you. Now, this is even more important now than it's ever been before because of one very big thing that's going on right now, a huge shift that's happened over the last couple of years. Can anyone tell me, I'm going to show you guys an image and a clip. Hopefully the clip works. I just want to make sure that our sound is coming through, but I want to show you this photograph here. Can anyone tell me, what does this photograph and this video have in common? Okay, AI, you're funny outfits, I love that. So it's AI, these are what are called deep fakes. So while I would love to sit here and show you really cute videos of babies for the next hour, I've got an 18-month-old. Can anyone with a parent tell me, did your kids walk like this when they were a year old? These are about these babies. I can tell you my baby didn't walk like that. So these are what's called deep fakes. The first one I showed you is actually an image of the late Pope wearing a Prada jacket. This image created so much uproar that it had people that donated to the Catholic Church asking, where is our money going? And an archbishop needed to stand up and say, hey, actually, the Pope doesn't get around wearing Prada jackets. That's not what he is spending money on. So here's the thing. We're in a world right now where over 40%, it's just been recently reported by Meta, over 40% of all content on social media is now generated by AI. So this begs the question, what's real? And people are asking that question, what can I trust? What's real? And, trust is more important to earn now than it's ever been before, and yet it is harder to earn. And so we have to really be thinking about this one key thing here, which is people buy from those they like, know, and trust. Now, in that interest, I would like to share a little bit with you about why I'm here today, because I speak to the direct selling industry globally. I only work in this industry, and I often get asked why. Why do you only work with people in this industry? Well, let me give you guys a little bit of backstory here. When I was a little girl, I was 6 years old, I ended up living alone with my dad. Now, my dad was a workaholic. He was a businessman, entrepreneur, but always on the struggle street. And my dad had never been alone. He had never had to keep house by himself. He'd never had to learn to cook. He definitely never brought up a little girl completely solo. And here he was with his business, with his home, and a 6-year-old girl, and he was having to do life all over again. Now, Dad and I literally learned to do everything together. We learned to cook together. We learned how to do laundry together. We learned how to do everything together, and we went on many adventures. We became best of friends. But my dad was still the same workaholic entrepreneur that was struggling. My dad was always on the verge of bankruptcy, and I was also his best friend, so I was his shoulder to lean on. My dad would come home every night, and he would tell me about his worries and his stresses. Things like, I don't know how we're going to pay for the mortgage this month, or where we're going to get the money for groceries this week. I remember one night sitting on the couch with him watching TV, and an ad for house insurance came on. And I thought to myself, and by the way, guys, house insurance ads, just in case you didn't know, never about rainbows and butterflies. They pull on fear, don't they? So I suddenly had this little panicked moment, and I turned to my dad. I said, we do have house insurance, right? And my dad turns to me and says, of course not. How on earth could I afford to pay for that? And so that was the moment where I knew I needed to do something. If I was going to take control of my future, if I was going to have an impact, I was going to need to do something now. At that stage, I was 13, almost 14 years old, and so I decided to go and start earning an income to help support my dad. Also, at that time, it was the 90s, and if anyone remembers the 90s, if you wanted to fit in as a teenager, you needed your own pair of Doc Martens shoes and Levi jeans. And I was desperate, but I didn't want to ask my dad because I knew he would go out of his way to make it happen, and he just couldn't afford it. So I started hunting for a job. Problem was that I wasn't experienced, I was too young, no one would hire me. I started looking for other ways to earn an income, and everything failed. I tried building a business where I would stand on the street and sell baked bread and crafts, but we only had maybe 2 or 3 cars a day going past our country home. So that failed. Until I found an industry that doesn't judge, an industry that doesn't care about your background, your experience, an industry that will give everyone an opportunity, an industry that becomes your family. So at that point, I started my first ever direct selling business. I was now 14 years old, and this industry took me in like family. I learnt so many incredible skills at that age. But here's the amazing thing. Those skills are skills I've used every single day of my life ever since. By the time I was 16 years old, I had one of the top 10 businesses in Australia in the company that I was with. I was earning an income that most 16-year-olds could only ever dream of. My income had surpassed that of my dad's by 16, and I had the latest pair of Doc Martens shoes and Levi jeans. I was having a blast. This industry literally turned my life around. It gave me something that no other industry could give me. But at 18, my dad sat me down and said, Sam, I want you to go out, and it's time you need to go and get yourself a real job. Now, I was really mad because to me, this was my real job. This was my future. But I am so grateful today that he did that, because what happened next was I moved into a marketing and sales career where I got to work with one of the biggest print marketing companies for nearly 11 years in Australia. I also discovered a super skill that I had, a skill to communicate and connect with people, things that were complex and complicated. They worked out that I was able to take things that other people couldn't understand, communicate them, but also have people taking action quickly. So they took me from managing the company to putting me in a training role where I was responsible for training all of the staff all over the world. And I traveled doing this every day, and I loved it. Until the rise of digital marketing and social media started to take over again. And I knew that at that point I needed to do something new. I needed to help people keep their businesses going. And so I stepped back into the very industry that I'd left all those years before. I wanted to be able to help people have the start, the opportunity, the inspiration, the growth, and be able to create goals like I had been able to do. And so here I am today. I get to travel the world teaching everything I know. Greg and I also have got a beautiful family. We had 4 kids until 18 months ago, and we decided to add to our clan. We've now got 5 beautiful kids, and we get to do exactly what you get to do, which is balance and create a beautiful business while doing all of the things that we value. But remember this, people buy from those they like, know, and trust. Today, I want to help you do that. I want to show you some strategies and some skills to be able to build that trust. I'm really passionate about the subconscious and the psychology of selling, so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of the strategies you can employ as well that are going to help you in that space. But just before I do, I am all about action. We don't need more knowledge. I don't want to give you guys more to do without giving you some action steps. Today I'm going to not only give you some tools to use along the way, but at the end of today I'm also going to share with you an amazing opportunity that you're going to be able to take part in after Neumi week. But I want you today, as I'm talking, and maybe as other presenters are talking as well, to write down 1, 2, or 3 things that you are going to implement in the next 24 hours. Knowledge is not power. It's only potential power. It's not until we use that knowledge that we get the value of it. So what I really want to encourage you to do today is jot down 3 things that you promise me you're going to implement in your business in the next 24 hours. They could be big or small, it doesn't matter. But those 3 things need to be things that you can do straight away. Don't be tempted to write down 5 or 10 because you won't do it, and don't write down things that are too big that you won't be able to implement. I really believe in the 2 millimeter shift. Big change happens when we do small things consistently. If you can do 3 small things in the next 24 hours, it may just be a reach out. It may be making a simple change to the way that you apply your social media. It may be posting a new post strategy that you haven't tried before. But simple little things done regularly can move mountains. So right now I want to talk to you about, and here's a little trick, guys. When you do any kind of training with me, now included, I want you to get your hands up like this, and I want you to pop those fingers on those keyboards and get ready to type. Because I'm watching the chat, and I love to give prizes away. Today is going to be no exception. I have been into your head office at Neumi. I have given them a box of Australian goodies. They have got chocolate. They have got all sorts of really cool things. So they've got books, lots of stuff. So we're going to be giving prizes away, but you need to be ready and on the handles here. So I want to talk about 4 fears right now that hold us back from social media success. And as I talk about these, I'd like you to go into the chat and tell me if any of these things feel like experiences you're currently having when it comes to social media. Maybe you're currently feeling them, or maybe you have in the past. But I want to acknowledge them quickly. So here's the first one. Have you ever, or do you currently, hold back from social media because you feel afraid of hounding and pestering family and friends? You don't want to be that person who shows up and is hounding and hassling, right? So you don't show up at all, right? Lots of you are saying yes here. All right, I'm going to do a prize in a moment. I'm going to get to the end of the 4. The next one is this. Have you ever felt like social media feels like wasting time and getting no results? It's like throwing spaghetti at the wall and waiting to see what sticks. You feel like you've done everything, you've had people tell you what to do, and it just doesn't work. It's wasting your time. The next one is, A big one for me, this was the fear of failure and comparison. What if I don't get it right? What if I get it wrong? I want everything to be perfect before I show up. And then what about this one? Comparison. Looking at other people online and going, wow, I'm not like them. I don't show up on camera like that person. I need to be more like that and less like me if I'm going to be successful. And that leads you to do one of two things. You either start mimicking other people or you don't show up at all. Does that sound familiar to everyone? Anyone? Anyone at all? Give me a little yep in the chat if that's you. The last one is, have you ever felt a sense of overwhelm? You feel like, you know what, it just keeps changing on me. I don't know where to start. I keep getting all this learning. I just don't know what to do next. Any of you feel like all of these things apply right now? Well, what I want you to know, and I would have said this to you if I were meeting you in person, I would have got you all to stand up if you'd experienced any of these. The thing I want you to know is that if you experience any of these things, first of all, you are not alone. You're the majority, not the minority. But the other thing is that sometimes we need to acknowledge those things, feel the fear, and do it anyway. Because social media is not about showing up perfectly. Why? Because people don't relate to perfect. I don't want you to think about, okay, I have to get better at technology. I have to get better at editing. I have to get better at perfect photography. No. Today is the day where real matters more than ever before. Like I said before, over 40% of all content right now comes from AI. This means that 40% of all content on Facebook and Instagram is not generated by a human. And it leaves people wanting to know, what can I trust? What is real? What can I interact with? What can I relate to? You are going to show up as one of those people that every time people see you, they go, I know this is real. So I'm going to do a quick prize here. I'm scrolling through and just those people that interacted, because that's all you ever have to do to win a prize with me, right? It's really complicated. We're going to go with, Greg, are you able to write a name down for me? Yeah, I've got Greg in the background here. We're going to get him to write a name down because we're going to send out some prizes. Now, if you win a prize from me today, during this week, or when you take part in the little announcement we're going to tell you about at the end of the session today, you're going to send your mailing address to prize@oxano.global. That was prize@oxano.global. So I'm about to give a name away. Greg's about to write a name down. That name is going to be Angela Jordan. So congratulations, Angela Jordan. You've just won a little spot prize. It was that easy, right? So, guys, here's the thing. You do not have to be great to start, but you do have to start if you ever want to be great. I love this quote by the late Zig Ziglar. So let's get in and talk a little bit about social media in 2025. And I want to make an announcement to start off with, and it's this. Facebook doesn't work anymore. I hear this a lot, and guess what? I hate to tell you, it's completely true. If you're doing any of the following things. If you are broadcasting and selling, telling people what you want them to hear in order to get them to do what you want them to do, rather than sharing and invoking stories. If you're posting links, Facebook and Instagram hate links. Now, does this mean that you can't share a link? No, it doesn't. But you've got to be a little bit strategic about how you're doing it. The latest report from Facebook, from Meta, who oversee Facebook and Instagram, is that 99% of all content that they delivered in the last quarter did not contain a link. Why? Because they don't want to send people away from their own platform. They want to keep people on Facebook and Instagram. So we have to get a little bit clever about how we do this. Next up is overposting. I have a lot of people that think that if their stuff's not getting seen, they clearly just need to post more. And again, that is not how this works. Posting more won't get you seen by more people. It's about the quality over the quantity. Another one is, and I don't think this was ever in, but uninvited connects and reach outs is totally out. Again, there's a right way to do this. It doesn't mean you can't reach out to people and share what you're passionate about and excited about and your amazing opportunity, but we've got to find the right time and place to do it. And I'd love to share with you how that works as well. And the last one, of course, is personal profiles for product and business is out. Now, Let me clarify this. Does that mean you can't use a personal profile to grow your Neumi business? Absolutely not. Your personal profile is a brilliant place. But you notice we want to be sharing. I didn't say selling, we want to be sharing. Your personal profile is where your family and friends connected with you because they love you and they want to know what you're up to in life and they want to hear about you. They don't want your business or your products rammed down their throats. So this comes back to sharing the right way. Now, I know I just told you that Facebook doesn't work if you do any of those things, but here's the key. It is still the lowest hanging fruit. There are over 3 billion people estimated to be using at least one meta app. That's Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, every single day. So the opportunity is massive. So how do we utilize this opportunity? Well, this is where I am going to talk to you about something a little bit more on the technical side, but I'm going to talk to you about this because I want you to understand what this is so you can use it to your advantage. So tell me in the chat, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you feel you know about the algorithm? 1 being, I had no idea there was such a thing, and anything you're about to tell me, Sam, is brand spanking new to me. 10 is, you probably can't teach me anything I don't already know. I'm a pro at this stuff. Okay, we're getting lots of different numbers. See, you guys are on the keyboard now. I love it. We've got you in the chat. Maybe we should do another prize, Greg. All right, let's do another prize just because you guys are interacting. I love how much you're interacting here. We're going to go with random. We're going to go with Marcella Claridge. She said 5. So, Greg, can you write that down? he's recording, so he gets this. So, Marcella Claridge, congratulations. So, we're getting lots of different people in here. I'm just wondering if we're getting any 10s. I can't see any. Sometimes we get a couple. But you know what? I think even someone who worked for Facebook probably wouldn't give a 10 because I'll explain how this works in a little moment. The algorithm is such a complex tool, it leaves people wondering what next. So let me tell you a little bit about it. I'm going to give you a little bit of background here for a moment. So back in 2009, Facebook recognized it was becoming a very busy environment. Basically, back then, there were only personal profiles. That was the only way you could show up on Facebook. And all of the feeds, you might remember the time, were in chronological order. So you saw things in the order in which they were posted. Well, at that time, businesses had realized they had a captive audience on these platforms. And so they began actively promoting their products, their services, their business opportunities. And it became a very spammy environment. And people began leaving the platform in droves. Facebook realized if it was going to keep its platform going and it wasn't going to end up like, does anyone remember MySpace? It was going to need to adapt and become smarter. And so it implemented 2 things. The first thing it implemented was business pages to segment the content. But the second thing it implemented was a program that operates in the background of Facebook called the algorithm. The algorithm's sole job was to learn everything there was to learn about you and me. It learns things like what we do for a living, who we're friends with, what sort of conversations we have with those friends, what websites we go to, what our interests are, what our family life looks like, how many kids we have, if we have pets, the age of those kids, the car we drive, and even our household income. It uses all of this to deliver us only the content it knows we want to see, with the intention of keeping us on the platform for longer and more frequently. So to put this into really simple terms, your Facebook feed, your Instagram feed, your LinkedIn feed, your Twitter or X feed, your YouTube feed, your Google feed are all customized to you like a fingerprint. There are no 2 the same. All of these platforms and many more now incorporate their own algorithm. The reason I bring this up is because every time you hit post on something, that piece of content is getting filtered by the algorithm on that platform that's deciding who's going to care about this and who are we going to show it to, if anyone at all. So the key is understanding how to get it to do the work for us. If you ever hear anyone say to you something like, I'm going to show you how to beat the algorithm, I'm going to show you how to get around the algorithm, I want you to have a big red flag go up and think to yourself about, does this make sense? Because what I know about the algorithm is it wants to keep people on the platform. And it is the most sophisticated, or one of the most sophisticated pieces of technology in existence. So there's no getting around it. But if you use it, you can get such incredible benefits. Now, it's not just the platforms that have changed, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what the platforms are looking for in a moment. But it's also about how users have changed. You guys. It's also your audience. So, a few things. First of all, users now spend over 50% of their time on video. Most of that video is viewed completely without sound. Dark shares are up by over 50% on last quarter. What's a dark share? Well, once upon a time, I would have said to you that engagement and interaction was a direct reflection of the quality of the posts you're putting out there. Now, it's not like that. Now, people are sharing things privately. They see a post they like and they share it by copying the link or sharing in Messenger or SMS or email or text. This is virtually untraceable. So it means that we can't rely on direct engagement, direct reporting to tell us if something is working or not. And then last but not least, I want to bring this one up because I think this is very, very underutilized. And that is the use of stories. Stories still get the best real estate on Facebook and Instagram. Over 500 million people are using stories every day. So if you're not showing up in stories, you could be missing out on a great opportunity to share and connect. The next thing I want you to know is that there is also a big shift that's happened in Facebook and Instagram in the last couple of years called unconnected distribution. Something else that I believe is very underutilized. An amazing tool that if you use, you get a chance to reach over 37% of brand new people that you've never met before without paying a cent to do it. So what is unconnected distribution? Let me quickly explain. Up until 2 years ago, you received content on Facebook or Instagram for one of 4 reasons. You were a friend with someone, you followed a business page, you're a member of a Facebook group, or you were being targeted with a paid ad. Mark Zuckerberg made an announcement 2 years ago that he wanted to change the way people receive content and reward people that create quality content. And so he introduced something called unconnected distribution, which means that when you create a post that algorithm decides people want to see, they're going to show it to, it's now up to 37%, and it's still growing, 37% of people who don't follow you and don't know you. Now, you will notice your feed is now made up of, have you seen this? Over 37% of people that you've never seen before. It's called recommended content now. So you might see it and go, why am I seeing this? This is because the algorithm has decided that this is what's popular. This was a report from the last transparency report from Facebook showing, you can see this up on the screen here, showing the breakdown of content you received last quarter. And you can see the huge percentage we've got right here of content that came from unconnected sources. This is a big opportunity for you to reach new leads and new people you've never spoken to before, you've never connected with before. But there are some keys here that we need to understand. So I'm about to share with you a few things that you want to take into account if you want to reach those 37% of brand new people, if you want to be attracting new leads to your business. Now, if you're thinking, this sounds complicated, this sounds hard, I want to reassure you of something. This post here is a training that we did in one of our challenges. We do this in all of our challenges. It's completely free. And this is one strategy we call the 2-step lead magnet strategy. It's super powerful, it's a lot of fun, and it is really, really simple. This is me demonstrating it live. I'm doing the demonstration as I'm creating the post. So I'm teaching people in a course. As I was teaching this demonstration, it took me 2 minutes. I didn't have to do any editing to create the post. I showed everyone how to do it. I put it out there. And then within 24 hours, our business had generated over 185 qualified leads for us. Now you might be thinking, well, that's fine, but you know what you're doing, Sam. Sure, but we taught this in 2 minutes. The hundreds of people that were in that challenge that did that training then had to go away and implement it themselves. We gave them the strategy. I'm going to show you how to do this very shortly. So they went away, they implemented it, and hundreds of them within 24 hours came back to us and reported qualified leads were generated for their business, and some of them were in the hundreds within one day. This is completely doable. It doesn't cost any money. All it takes is a bit of authenticity, a little bit of creativity, and a lot of being human. And all of those things you already know how to do, which is great. Now, I'm going to give you guys some tips right now for creating content they can't ignore, for getting that algorithm to deliver your posts. I did see a little comment in the chat here. Irene said, Oksana is a Greek word. It actually is. Oksana is a Greek biblical word that means to cause, to grow, and become greater, which is our mission and our vision in our business. It's everything that we do. So I love that you picked that up, Irene. That's so great. So let's talk about some tips for creating content that they can't ignore. Here's the first one here. It's really complicated. Are you ready? You're going to want to have your pen and paper out for this one. Insert your personality. Okay, let me tell you why. The platforms, the algorithm is right now prioritizing something called UGC, which is simple. It's user-generated content. Let's just really simplify this. User-generated content. User-generated content are posts you create, photos you take, captions you write, things that are authentically you. Why? Because number one, it's not AI generated and the platforms know it. Your audience also knows it. It's not perfect, which is what people want. They want real and relatable, not perfect. It also means that the content that you're creating is unique. No one else has created it. It means that that piece of content is the only time that post has ever gone up versus shares. Shares are okay, but they're not unique. So they want more unique content. So when you create your own post, that's what's happening. Now, I also want to introduce you to a little concept that any marketers here, anyone here heard this before? USP. Now, if you are marketing a business or a brand and you're growing that business or brand, the first thing you'll ever be told as a marketer, or if you get a marketer come and help you, is that you need to identify your USP, which is your unique selling proposition. It's the thing that makes your business stand out. Now, you guys have got a unique selling proposition. You've got an incredible product, right? And your product is unique. But that's not going to help you sell at this time, in this stage, in this place that we're in with digital and AI and this industry, which is all about being real, relatable, and human and connecting. I want to change this up now. For this industry, it's not about unique selling proposition. USP stands for unique story perspective. Unique story perspective, which is your story, your connection, what makes you real and relatable. Now, I want to pause for just a moment. I want to do a little demonstration for you guys. I want to show you something. First of all, I'm going to sell to you two different products, okay? The first product, I want you to tell me, and just pay attention to the difference between the way that I go about doing this. The first product I want to sell you is some coffee. Now, this is not any coffee. I don't know if you guys can see this. This is the best coffee in the whole world. Whether or not you're a coffee drinker, it doesn't matter. I like how we've got our background on so you can't see what I'm doing. Whether or not you are a coffee drinker, you need this coffee. This coffee will not only give you more energy, it will make you look younger, it'll probably cure any ailment you could possibly have, but this is definitely the best coffee in the world, so everyone needs to buy it. Now today, I'm going to do a very special deal. This coffee is normally $40, but today I'm going to do it for you for the very special price of $39.95. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the coffee over here, and I'm just going to share a link with you later on that you can go ahead and click on and purchase that coffee if you want to buy it. Now tell me something. Does anyone right now want to buy that coffee? How are you feeling about buying that coffee? I just broadcasted this to you. Not really, says Keith. Not really. Okay, let me ask you guys a question now. I want you to get ready to use the chat. Yes, all right, get ready to use the chat. I want to ask you guys a very important question. It just flicked up on the screen a second ago, so I might have already given it away, but this is very important. What I want you to do is tell me if you had to give up one of the following things and you could only keep one for the rest of your life. Don't panic, by the way, this is completely hypothetical. I'd never really do this to you. But which of the following item would you keep? Tell me in the chat. Would you keep coffee or chocolate? You can't have the other one for the rest of your life. Which would you keep? Tell me in the chat. Coffee or chocolate? Okay, we got some chocolates, we got some coffees. So here's the interesting thing. Coffee people, where were you at a moment ago? Isn't it really interesting that we can make the assumption that the reason people don't buy from us is because they're not interested in what we have? Not true. See how many people just said that they love coffee? It's because we haven't shared with them in a way that makes them want to be a part of it yet, or pulls on a need that they have or a desire. So let's talk about something else. I want to tell you guys, I want to talk just to my chocolate friends for a little moment. So all of those that you said that said chocolate, I want to share with you a little story. Now, I too, just like you, am a chocolate lover. I love chocolate, but I love unique, good quality chocolate, right? Now, I discovered about 40 minutes up the road from me, a little chocolatier run by a man called Igor Van Gerwen. It's the man here on the screen here. Now, Igor wanted to create something really special and really unique. So he went on a trek around the world looking for heirloom varieties of cacao. As he was trekking around the world, he found himself in the mountains of Peru, so high above sea level that it was beyond a point where any cacao tree had ever been located. As he was up there, he and his team discovered a plantation of 25 incredible looking cacao trees. The pods on these trees were iridescent purple, completely different to any he'd ever seen before. And I actually met up with Igor and he told me this story recently. He said, when you cut open, and he showed me this, he cut open a normal cacao pod. When you cut it open, inside you've got this white sticky flesh that is somewhat bitter when you eat it. You can eat it, it's a fruit, and it's a little bit bitter. Well, he said when you opened up, they macheted open one of these cacao pods that they found, the inside was bright yellow and it smelt like ripe, sweet banana. It had no bitterness at all. Basically what had happened, and he sent these pods away for testing, genetic testing, they discovered that they had come across the purest form of cacao ever located anywhere in the world. This particular breed of cacao was called the Peruvian Nacional cacao tree, and they had been rendered extinct in 1919 when they got wiped out by a disease. But because this plantation was so high above sea level, it didn't get picked up by the disease and they survived. The other man in this photograph is called Don Fortunato, and Don had been looking after these trees for all of these years. Igor asked Don to continue looking after the plantation, and he paid him to send him the cacao pods in Tasmania. And what happened was Igor married this cacao together with milk from local grass-fed cows and created what is considered to be the world's rarest chocolate. Now let me tell you, this little chocolatier, this is the chocolate here, it's called Fortunato, he named it after Don, and this chocolate is unlike any chocolate you've ever tasted. It is fruity, it is so high in cocoa content, it's so good for you, but it has no bitterness whatsoever, and it just melts in your mouth. It is incredible. Now, here's the thing. Who wants to know more about this chocolate? I haven't shared with you, what did I not do as I talked about this? What did I do and what did I not do versus the coffee story? Now, as you guys tell me this, I'm going to have to let you in on a really sad little truth. Yeah, I didn't talk about the price or the link key. That's exactly right. I didn't sell it. I shared my experience. All I did was share a story. And I left you wanting to know more. And this is the power of story selling. So here's the really sad secret. I actually have some of this chocolate here, and I have brought some to your head office. We're going to be making this available as a very special prize, but the truth is this, you actually can't buy this chocolate in America. Because Igor, I've spoken to Igor about this. I said, look, every time I talk about this story, everyone wants to buy it. You would make so many sales. He said, I won't send it because I can't guarantee that it won't melt and that the quality of the chocolate will be right at the other end. And so he said, I will only sell it within Australia and as an overnight shipment. So unfortunately, you can't even buy it. But I can tell you there is a way for you to get hold of it, so don't panic. So Igor has given me, this is Igor here, I caught up with him a few weeks ago. He's given me some chocolate I'm going to be sharing with you guys. But here's the thing. It is about the stories you share. It's not about telling everyone everything they need to know. We've got this assumption, I think, sometimes that we need to tell everyone everything they need to know in order to get them to buy from us or join us in the business, and it couldn't be further from the truth. Here's my key. Know what they want and then almost give it to them. Don't give the farm away. And I'm going to teach you some strategies to do this very shortly. The other key to this, and we're going to help you guys over the course of the next few weeks build your recipe. What I want you to be thinking about is, how do I create my own social media recipe that's me? I'll talk to you a bit more about this in a minute, but the next step to doing this is knowing who you're speaking to. Who's your target audience? Because when you speak to everyone, you literally speak to no one. So I want to give you right now 2 golden questions that you can constantly be asking yourself about your audience. But also, these are 2 golden questions you can constantly be learning as well about your target customer. So here's what they are. The first one is this: what gets them up at night? This means, what problems in life do they want to solve? What bothers them? What frustrates them? What do they care about? Now, notice I didn't say, how do you solve this problem? I said, what is the problem? It's about resonating with them and understanding them. The next one is, what gets them up in the morning, which means, what do they care about? What do they value? What's important to them? When you know the answer to these 2 questions, it's going to help you, number 1, create better social media content that they can't ignore. Number 2, be more real, relatable, and human. But also, your social media content is going to help you learn the answers to these questions. So if you don't know what they are right now, don't stress. We're going to help you with that. Now, the first step of quality social media content is attracting people. We talk about the 3 legs of the business stool, which is attract, convert, retain. The first one is we need to be bringing people in. We then need to be converting them, and that is where we need to do something I call dating them. So I want you to think about it this way. Imagine that you were looking for your perfect future partner in life, and you knew who you were looking for. You knew roughly what that person needed to look like, just like what you do with your dream customer. But if you found them, if you saw them in a restaurant or you met them at a barbecue or a dinner party, would you go up to them and say, "Hi, how are you? Will you marry me?" Or would you get to know them first? The thing is that when we jump straight from "Hi, how are you?" to "Will you buy from me?" it's the same thing. It doesn't work. We need to be dating our customers. Do you know, statistics tell us that people don't buy the first time that they come across a business or a brand, typically. They buy on the 8th to the 12th time that they're exposed to that business or brand. This is why it is so important for you to be showing up regularly. So we've got to be putting the social back into social media. And this is where I get to talk to you about building your recipe. Here's the key. Now, imagine for a little moment, you want to bake a cake. Now, how many of you know that there are millions of cake recipes out there? There's no one way to bake a cake. This is the thing. No one can tell you, here's the one way to do social media. Do exactly as I do and you will be successful. The reason they can't is because that recipe works for them. That's their recipe. They have their own target customer, their own dream customer, their own personality, their own skill set, and it's different to yours. But think about baking a cake. While there's lots of recipes out there, there's typically one formula. And what I want to show you is, what is that formula, and help you insert your own ingredients into that recipe. So think about it. If you're going to bake a cake, you need to have all of these things. You need binding component, you need a body component, a flavoring component, a sweetening component. But what those components are can differ dramatically. Those ingredients could be applied in different amounts at different times using different methods. Your social media content what you put into your strategy is going to be unique to you. Now, think about it too this way. If someone tries to get you to jump out and do tricky reels and video editing and you haven't ever done a reel before, it's probably not the right place for you to start. So if you were baking a cake for the first time, I would say probably don't begin on a bomb Alaska. You might want to start on maybe a basic sponge cake. And so this is where we need to also take just the 2mm step, that tiny little step to push our comfort zone, to grow, to try something new. The other thing is that we want to be mixing up our ingredients, which is our social media content strategies. You don't want to have just 5 or 7 of them. You want to have 8 to 12 content strategies so that you can work out what makes your recipe up. And we're going to help you with this, so don't panic. This is where I actually get to help you with this process, and I'm super excited to do it. So I'll tell you in a moment how we're going to do that. But just before I do, I want to also share with you what are the top 5 performing social media strategies on Facebook and Instagram right now, as reported by them. So we looked at the last transparency report, and we analyze this every quarter. And every quarter, Facebook will tell us which posts got the best reach, which posts they favored and why. Now, of those, I went through and I had a look and I analyzed which ones stood out as the most commonly used strategies that worked, and it was these 5. Number 1, nostalgia. Nostalgia because it creates commonality. Little known facts and did you knows because they pull on curiosity and intrigue. Humor and meme-based content because they're entertaining. How-tos, value-driven, and stories. Can I really encourage you use stories? By the way, micro stories are still stories. Stories don't have to be long and drawn out. They can be a simple conversation you had yesterday or an experience you had last week or just a thought, or you can tell story through image and video. So let's have a look. I actually had a look at the post from Facebook in the transparency agreement and report, and it showed what those posts were. So let's have a little bit of a look. Here's one of them. This was one of the top performing posts in last quarter. It was nostalgia right here. So what's the best sports movie? Nostalgia right there. It creates a sense of I belong, commonality. The next one was a little known fact. Oh goodness, it's flicking ahead on me. A little known fact, okay, pulls on curiosity and intrigue. The next is how-tos, the value-driven post. The value-driven post. And then we've got another educational or did you know, and last but not least, the real, relatable, unedited, human piece of content. Don't you love this? Someone recorded this on their mobile phone, and this was one of the top performing posts on Facebook last quarter. No editing, a little bit of text on top, that was it. So here's the thing. The only impossible journey is the one that you never begin. I want to share with you a quick video. It's trying to jump in right now. We're going to go back a little step. I want to share with you guys a really quick video, and then we're going to introduce a very exciting opportunity for you guys. So, sorry guys, it sounds like there may not have been any sound with that. Apologies. That was like my favorite part is the sound. But here's the thing. We have got a very exciting opportunity to share with you. We want to do social media with you. So I want to introduce you to the Done For You Social Media Post Challenge Neumi exclusive happening starting on the 22nd of July. We're launching this week for you to register for and take part in, and we're going to walk by your side and help you build your social media recipe. Here's how this is going to work. We're going to spend time with you for 10 days, each day teaching you a new post strategy. We're going to give you the content, we're going to give you the posts, we're going to give you templates, we're going to give you downloads, blueprints, everything, and we're going to sandwich this between two key masterclasses. The very first masterclass is going to show you what's working right now and what to apply. And then the final masterclass will be showing you how to take everything we've taught you over the 10 days and apply it yourselves. Here's the great news. This is going to cost you absolutely nothing to be a part of. This is Neumi exclusive and provided to you just because you're part of the Neumi family and you came along this week to Neumi Week. So, what you need to do right now is get registered though. You're not automatically put in there. You need to register for this. And I want you to encourage other people that are not at Neumi Week, other people in your teams to be a part of this event. So we're going to show you over the course of this challenge ways to generate leads, engage, share your why, be human, connect. We're going to show you how to be consistent, most importantly, because every day you're going to be showing up. This is not just about what you learn, it's about what you apply. Now, very, very important, of course, probably most important is there are going to be prizes. Many of those prizes will, of course, be chocolate and books and a number of other things. So, how this is going to work is we're going to be doing a kickoff masterclass. It's going to happen USA time on the 22nd of July. So if you're in Australia, for example, for me, that will be the 23rd of July, depending on where you are in the world. So when you register, it's going to give you the time of that kickoff challenge, all of the information you need to know. And then for the 10 days following that kickoff, each day you just need to allocate 15 to 20 minutes a day to do that day's challenge. So every day we're going to give you a set of instructions. You're going to implement a strategy, and it's going to be a very key strategy that you can use in lots of different ways. So this is going to come with a downloadable workbook. We're going to have a lot of fun together, and I promise, guys, this is going to be so needle moving for you. So most important part, make sure that you join the masterclass on July the 22nd USA time. So just check on where you are in the world and what time that will be for you. Join the private Facebook group we're going to give you guys. So when you register, you'll get access to that. And then you're just going to allow that little bit of time each day to be a part of the challenge for the 10 days. This is not about you spending more time on social media, guys. It's about you spending less time but getting more results and moving the needle in your businesses. Now, in just a little moment, I'm going to be doing a Q&A. So I'm actually going to be hanging around with you for a little bit, answering your questions. So if you do have a question for me, throw it in the chat. I'd love to help you out there with that. And I believe we've just got the links gone up in the chat as well to make life a little bit easier. And I've got something else really exciting to tell you. Everyone today who's joined us for this session, I want to also send you a copy, a free copy of my ebook, brand new book that's just came out last week. I don't know if you can see this in the screen. Show Up Anyway. This book comes with a companion workbook for free, and it's also got a bunch of resources, but it's all about taking action. We've organized for this to be listed for free today, just for you guys in the Amazon bookstore. So if you go to Amazon and you search for Show Up Anyway, Sam Hind, you'll notice that the ebook is currently free. So go in there, grab that, get access to it. It's only going to be for the next 24 hours. So literally until midnight tonight, and then it's gone. But if you want to grab that, that's my gift to you. Otherwise, if you prefer paperback, you can go ahead and grab yourself a copy of the paperback. But, guys, I am here to help you move that needle. Get actionable, implementable strategies that are going to help you connect with your dream customer. We're going to have a lot of fun doing all of this together. I can't wait to get to know you over the course of the 10-day challenge. And of course, now and throughout the rest of this week, I just want to also commend you for showing up today. The thing is that you could have stayed at home, not turned that computer on, decided that you got busy doing other things, but you guys have shown up today to invest in you. And your time is your most precious commodity. So I want to just thank you so much for joining me, for trusting me, and I'm really excited to work with you further. And I just want to share this really quick little video with you. I want you guys to be the guys in blue here. This is 3 professional soccer players against 100 kids. And by the end of this challenge, you're going to be one of those 3 professional soccer players. You're going to know who you're serving your content to, what they care about, how to get them to pay attention. And most importantly, you're going to know what to post and when so that you kick a goal every single time. So guys, again, thank you so much for joining me today. It was so awesome to connect with all of you. I'm going to stop share here and I'm going to give you a chance to jump over to that chat and let me know if you have any questions. I would love to answer any questions that you have. We've got a little bit of time. I can see Anna's asked a question, which was, what was the title of the book? The book is called Show Up Anyway. Now, depending on where you are in the world, you might need to also type in my name. I know that in Australia, my Aussie friends had to type in Show Up Anyway, Sam Hind, for it to come up. But that is available for you as a gift from me, completely for free if you choose the digital version today. So go ahead and do that. Okay, Irene says, will the training be recorded? So here's what's going to happen. You need to register for the challenge. And off the back of that, we are going to be we are going to provide you the recording if you've registered for 24 hours. It's really critical that you watch the masterclass to be a part of the challenge. Reason being is that we're going to show you how to do the challenge, but we're also going to lay the foundation so that you are starting from a really important, solid place. So it will be recorded. We're going to give you the recording for 24 hours. That's it. The reason is, if you don't watch it in 24 hours, you're not going to watch it. So now I also want to tell you something else really, really important. And that is, guys, this challenge is for 10 days, but if you're not in it for the 10 days, you can't come in afterwards. You can't watch it and then do it later. You've got to be in this while it's live. So our entire team are going to be in here supporting you for these 10 days. We're going to be answering your questions. You're going to be able to win prizes as well. But you've got to be a part of it. So don't fence it. Don't kind of sit back and watch everyone else take part. There are people that do that every time we do these challenges and they regret it. They reach out to us. They say, when are you doing this again? And sometimes the answer is, we're just not. This is a one-time only event. So be a part of it. Just because it's free doesn't mean you shouldn't value it. So please be a part of this. We're going to have a lot of fun together. And it is going to be just Neumi, which means we're going to be using Neumi examples all throughout this challenge. We're actually going to give you strategies based on your business and your product. So it's going to be so incredibly relevant for you guys. Okay, so just going back to the questions here, I'm going to pull this over onto this screen so that I can see what you guys are asking. So Beth said, is everything you said today in the book? Much of what I said today is in maybe not elaborated on quite so much because I cover other things in the book as well. So you can definitely, if you're like, this was really great and I want more, we have got some other things in there that are going to help you, but it is a lot of what I teach, yes. Okay, so Carolyn, where to find the book? It's all on Amazon. Christos, what do you offer more than that? Look, Christos, what I would say is be part of this challenge with us, okay? We're going to be doing this with you guys as the Neumi family, and this is going to be super relevant for you. So just be a part of that, and I think that's going to be really game-changing for you. And from there, you're going to learn tons of things that you can do and implement and use again and again and again. Now, what I will say as well is, you know, we get a lot of people asking questions like, where should I be posting? Which platform should I be using, particularly for the challenge? So I'm going to talk about that now really quickly. Now, the first thing here to understand is that you've got personal profiles, business pages, groups, and then you've got Instagram and other platforms. all of them have got benefits. All of them have got an ideal way to use them. The key is knowing how to use them effectively. Now, in the kickoff masterclass during the challenge, we're going to talk to you about profiles, pages, groups, and Instagram, and the different ways to use them and how to optimize them. What I want you to think about is, what is my low-hanging fruit? If you try to master everything, you are a master of nothing. So I want you to really be laser focused on working out where is your audience, how do you attract that ideal target customer to you, and really speak directly to them. So don't feel like you have to spread yourself really thin. I want you spending less time on social media, not more, but I want you getting better results. I want you getting in, getting results so you can get out and focus on what's right for you. Okay, so cool. And Karen just said awaiting Facebook and registration confirmation. So yeah, once you're in, you'll then get invited to a group. So you'll be able to go in there, and we're going to start chatting with you guys and interacting with you and getting you organized in there as well. Okay, how to choose the right audience. I love that question. So how to choose the right audience. Look, the thing is that we all have a target customer, all of us. And I get a lot of people will say to me, well, but don't I have a few? And if I just speak directly to a target customer, if I'm really laser focused on who that is, am I going to alienate other people that could be my ideal customer? And I want to be really specific about something here. Look around you at the leaders in your business. The leaders in your business are people who unashamedly speak directly to their target customer. I want to tell you guys a quick little story. I teach on target customer a lot. We will talk to you about it during the challenge, because identifying who your dream customer is really important. But I was walking a couple of years ago. I was about 8 months pregnant at the time, and I was speaking at a convention in Las Vegas, of all places. And I was walking over one of those overpasses. And as I walked over the overpass, there was a man standing there playing the accordion. Now, I think we all know the accordion is a fairly polarizing instrument. You either love it or you hate it. And I stood back and I watched something really interesting. This man was playing the accordion, and people were walking faster to get away from him. Like they were sort of arcing around him to try and get away. And I thought, I wonder if this deters him. I wonder if he's thinking, oh, maybe I'm not what people want. But he didn't put his instrument down. He didn't change his instrument. He didn't change the music that he was doing. He just kept going, and he was tapping his feet, clapping. He was so excited. He was enjoying what he was doing, because he knew something. He knew that I've got a specific target customer out there. Now, what was really interesting was, after a few minutes of watching this guy, I noticed that an old man grabbed his wife's hand and ran over to him and started to tap his feet and clap his hands. He was really excited. This was his music. He got right into it. A few moments later, somebody else came and did the same thing. And then a few minutes after that, somebody else. And within about 5 minutes, there were a crowd of about 10 to 15 people. That's the point where something very interesting happened. From that point, people started to gather, not because they were necessarily interested in the instrument, but because they didn't want to miss out and they wanted to be a part of the crowd. You see, when you get really specific about who you speak to, you will attract people outside of that. But if you speak to everyone, you'll speak to no one. So as you create posts, do two things. Number one, think about, what does my current dream customer want? What do they care about? What's interesting to them? Don't think about selling to them. Think about adding value. But then ask yourself the question, what can I learn from them? One of the strategies we're going to teach you is one of my absolute favorites, and it's called the engagement post. And this particular strategy can be used in lots of different ways, but one of the keys with this strategy is it will help you learn about your target customer. It also does something that is very favored by the algorithm, and that is create quality conversation. Social media is not a passive place. It's called social media for a reason. So when people interact, we want to interact back to get the best possible result. Because it's not about the everyone, it's about the one. And just like today, while there are hundreds of you guys here today, I know in my heart, I'm here to serve one, not many. And you, when you show up on social media, are there to serve your dream customer. Let me tell you, you have so much more joy in your business when you do, because there's a particular type of person that you were put here to connect with. So just going back to see if there's any other questions. I can see you guys are registering. So let's do another little prize, shall we? Here's what I want to know. Who's registered for the challenge? Give me an I'm in the chat if you're registered for the challenge. Okay, so will the 10-day challenge be translated in other languages? So George, great question. The master classes are going to be set up so that you can put captions with the videos, and if we've got a few key languages that we know we've got lots of participants for, we may do some translations for those, but you're going to be able to apply captions to those. The beautiful thing about Facebook is that you can do that, so you will be able to watch those master classes, which is great news. Awesome. Look at all you guys. I love this so much. Okay, well, we've got just a few more minutes. If anyone wants to ask any more questions, feel free to throw that in the chat. Okay, Cindy said that the book can't be shipped to Wisconsin. Well, that's frustrating. Cindy, we have been testing it. They can be shipped all over. We've had people in the US, Canada, Australia, and even the UK and New Zealand have been receiving them this week. So hopefully, maybe just recheck the region that you've got it set to and give that a go. Florence has asked, what do we need ready before we start on July 22nd? Great question, Florence. Okay, so what you need to do is, number one, put July 22nd in your calendar. Lock that time in. So once you've registered, go and just check that the time for you, so you'll be able to see the time and date. Set that for you, and then every day for the 10 days, I just want you to put in your calendar now, say 15 to 30 minutes, can be any time of the day for the 10 days, 15 to 30 minutes that you're going to allocate to do the challenge. We'll give you the rest of the information closer to the time. The other thing I really want you to do is I want you to invite your Neumi friends. Let's get as many of the Neumi family involved in this challenge as we possibly can. And we might even do another little prize draw as well for those people who do share it with their teams. We'll do that inside of the Facebook group. So let's get as many people to this as we can. Irene, you will receive an email. Yes, do check your junk folder. Sometimes we get spam filtered, so check your junk folder. Okay, I love it. Just going back to see if we've got any more questions in here. Will we be addressing the Neumi products in the class? Absolutely, Beverly. That's the beauty of this challenge, is it's going to be Neumi exclusive, Neumi specific. We're going to be using Neumi examples all the way through. So yes, it will be. We have got hold of some of your amazing products, so we are photographing them as we speak to create content to give you inspiration. What we want you to be doing is creating your own posts. This doesn't mean that you can't use posts that were created for you. Of course you can. But we also want you bringing your personality into your content, because that's what your family and friends and connections really truly relate to. So we're going to show you examples of how you can do that. Angela and anyone else who wins a prize, all you need to do is email your mailing address to prize@oxano.global. Prize@oxano.global. Okay? Okay. Thank you so much, Ryan. Look at that. He's all across it. All right. So we might take one more question. I did see a question a little bit earlier about hashtags, so I might really quickly talk to you guys about those. And then if there's one more question that comes into the chat, we'll do that. And then I'm going to hand back to your amazing Neumi team to get ready for all of the rest of the goodness that you've got. This is just the beginning of an incredible week. So can I just encourage you, please encourage other people to come along and be a part of this week. Guys, if you don't understand the value of investing in yourself, you don't understand the value of a good investment. You are the best investment you could make, and your time is your most precious commodity. So this week is a great opportunity for you to invest in you. And I've already seen some of the stuff that you're going to get access to this week. Can I just really encourage you, take the time out to be a part of Neumi Week. Invest in you, invest in your business, and have some fun together. Okay, so really quickly, let's talk about hashtags. I've had a few people saying, should I be using hashtags? How does that all work? And it's a great question because hashtags have actually really changed over the last couple of years. Once upon a time, hashtags were a really important thing to be using mostly on Twitter and Instagram. So to give you a little bit of background, hashtags were originally created for Twitter and Instagram, not for Facebook. And the general consensus was 7 to 30 hashtags on Instagram was the sweet spot, somewhere in there. Now, what's a hashtag? Just really quickly, if you put the pound symbol, the hash symbol in front of any word, it creates a clickable link that associates that post that you created with any other post that use the same hashtag. So it's like you're putting your post into an album with other posts using the same hashtag. So this is why it's very important to make sure that if you do create a hashtag, it's specific for that post. You don't use the same group of hashtags every single time. But Adam Mosseri, head of Instagram, probably about a year ago now, came out and made it very, very, very clear that hashtags will not help you get more reach. Actually, it was a lot longer than a year ago, but he reiterated a year ago because people were still actively using hashtags, wondering why they weren't increasing their reach. So how it works is a hashtag simply helps people locate things they're interested in. So you can search by hashtag. If you're interested in beaches, you can search beaches and it will come up. Now, the difference between Instagram and Facebook is hashtags never actually did anything on Facebook until about 5 years ago. When Facebook went, people are using hashtags, we're going to have to bring it into the fold. But honestly, you can search any word on Facebook and it will come up in the same way. So now, the general rule here is 3 to 5 hashtags maximum, not on every post and specific to the post itself. So if you're going to put up a picture of you at the beach, you're going to use a hashtag that might say beach life. You might search for what the current hashtag is that's most popular for that particular post. But you're not going to use the same hashtags every single time. And here's my little rule of thumb. When in doubt, leave it out. So if you don't know, just don't do it. Okay, last but not least, I can see a really great question in here from Beverly, which is what time of the day to post. I love that question, Beverly. We're going to finish on that question and we're going to be able to answer so many more for you guys inside of the challenge, so never fear. But best time of day to post is a great question because there's a lot that comes into this. The general consensus is there are 3 key times of day. First thing in the morning, middle of the day, so around lunchtime, and between 7 and 9 at night. But very, very important that you consider what your audience is doing at the time. I'm going to give you an example of this. I once wrote a little blog post on, I got really sick and tired of people saying to me, oh my gosh, you're a super mum, how do you do it? And I was like, I am not a super mum, I am so totally normal, and I don't want people thinking that I'm different to them. And so I wrote a very humorous, tongue-in-cheek blog post called How to Be a Super Mum in 7 Easy Steps. And it was just really funny the whole way through. So it was all of the mistakes I make every day and really making me human, right? I was really letting people know what my life is really like. Now, this post I knew was going to be really popular for my audience. The challenge was I looked at Facebook Insights, and Facebook Insights told me that my best time of day to post was between 7 and 9 p.m. at night. I listened to what Facebook was saying and I didn't think about my audience. So I went ahead and I posted my blog post and nothing happened. I literally heard crickets chirping when I put that post out there. I thought, what's going on? Why hasn't this worked for me? I stopped and I thought about it and I went, hang on a minute, who's my target audience? It's working mums. It's mums who are running their businesses. What are they doing at 7 at night? Well, in Australia, we call it witching hour, which is that hour where you do, dinner, bath, teeth, bed, and it's craziness, right? And by the time you're done with that, you sit down, you're exhausted, and you're ready to just be done with it for the day. The last thing those people want to be doing is sitting there and reading through a big, long blog post. So I decided to post exactly the same post on exactly the same day, but at a different time 2 weeks later. So I posted it first thing in the morning because I thought, when would be the best time for me to read a post like that? Well, probably when I'm having my morning cup of tea, very first thing when I get up, before the kids are up, before the getting ready of school happens, and I've got a little bit of time to just set my day. So I put the post up at 6 a.m. on the same day of the week, 2 weeks later. The post went viral. The thing you've got to consider is, who's my audience? What are they doing at that time? And then also look at what are the insights telling you. Over the course of the challenge, I really encourage you, try different times of the day with the strategies we give you, because you might actually be surprised at a specific time of day that works better for you that you didn't expect. So while insights are valuable, and we want to be looking at those, it's also really important we ask ourselves, what do we know about our target customer? So with all of that being said, that's it from me today. Thank you all so much for having me, everybody. I cannot wait to get to know you better inside of the challenge. Please go and invite some friends. Let's get as many Neumi people involved as we possibly can. We're going to run some more competitions between now and then, so make sure you're active inside of that Facebook group. And we can't wait to catch up with you on the 22nd for the kickoff masterclass. Remember, it's the 22nd USA time. So just check your time zone, because if you're in Australia like me, and I will be back in Australia at that time, it'll be the 23rd of July. So guys, we'll see you all then. Again, thank you so much for having me. It's been an honor and a privilege, and enjoy the rest of Neumi week. Bye for now, everyone.